I am currently inside the Trojan horse. It is filling with water. We are about to get out and hopefully murder a bunch of Trojans. However, I don't look like a Greek person, so I do need a somewhat historically accurate Greek costume. Good thing I'm a sewing YouTuber and am making a video about that. I'm going to be attempting to create a somewhat historically accurate Penelope-inspired Odyssey costume in one day. In this video, I'm only making one dress, but that dress is part of something much bigger. I'm currently 16 and I'm on a mission to sew 30 dresses before I turn 17. And Penelope's dress is dress number 2. My plan for this dress is to make it in 3 pieces. One is going to be the outer layer, and then I'm going to have a skirt under it, and then I'm going to make a sash, and then I'm going to make a little flowy thing to go around my shoulders. Let's get started. We're gonna take a little look into the fabric storage thing. I have actually not decided what I want to make this out of yet. This one, it's the same color as one of Penelope's outfits in the promo. I don't know if it's historically accurate, I actually don't care. I kind of like this fabric I could use for like a sash / hem. I also think I want to add like an outward layer to make it more fancy and fun. I don't know why I'm suddenly talking like Lucy Gray Baird. We will never know. This is another sheet. That can work for a sash. Let's do this. Before I sew my official costume, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tutorial on how to make a historically accurate Greek chiton in just a few steps. Welcome to everybody's favorite tutorial, how to make a historically accurate Greek outfit with no sewing and no prior sewing experience. But like, you don't actually have to make it, and it takes 0 time, and it's good. To do this, you're going to need only 2 simple things. But you will probably have, number 1, a twin sheet, unless you're a really large person. And by really large, I mean like really tall. Like if you're one of the giants. And some safety pins. I don't have safety pins, so we're gonna be improvising. I'm going to be using pins, but this is a bad idea and I would not recommend. Step 1 is you're going to take your sheet and you're going to fold it in half. Wow! Now, you're going to put a pin here. Now you're gonna put another pin here. Now, we're gonna use that as an armhole. This is a head hole. You can also put more pins on the sides. I'm not going to. And then you're just gonna take some sort of sash. That's the other thing you need. I did forget to tell you that. I'm using ribbon and tie it. Preferably your sash would be a little bit longer than this because you can do some fun little techniques and like wrap it. And wha-bam! You can flash everyone. Now you could start wars with your beauty. And look at you. You're so cute and Greek. This is actually how I made the base layer of my dress. Well, sort of. I decided to sew up the side to avoid flashing people. I also didn't want to get blood stains on the fabric, so I decided to sew sleeves instead of pinning them. I used some embroidery floss and sewed the shoulders in a way that I thought looked kind of ancient. Not really, but I liked how it turned out. At this point, I was very hungry for lunch, but I decided that I needed to make a somewhat historically accurate ancient Greek lunch so that I could really get into character. I started by sourcing some whole grain from the field so that I could crush it into flour and hand bake some fresh cakes. I then carefully picked some olives from the trees and sliced them into some handcrafted wooden bowls. I gently milked them to get fresh, extra virgin olive oil. I also thinly sliced an onion, crying many tears over my husband, who has been gone for 10 years now. I then milked our goat and created some fresh goat cheese. I carefully assembled everything on the bread, then drizzled it with the fresh oil and garnished it with finely grated salt and pepper on top. Before eating, I checked once again to see if my husband had returned, but alas, the harbor is still empty. I delicately devoured this meal, and it was actually quite good. I've made it multiple times now with the addition of tomatoes, but those came from America, so I didn't include them in the ancient Greek version. At this point, I had most of the garment done, but it was a little bit short. I researched, and apparently ancient Greek women were allowed to show their ankles. I found the suggested questions very interesting. However, I feel that the garment was still a little bit too short, so I strayed from historical accuracy to make an underlay for added modesty. To do this, I used embroidered golden fabric, which I sourced from some historical tablecloths from Goodwill. I sewed a tube for an underskirt, but zippers and elastic aren't very historically accurate, and I also didn't have any, so I sewed a little waistband at the top and fed a ribbon through it so that I could gather it that way. Layer 1 is done and not historically accurate at all. And then I've got a little tie on the back and it goes all the way to the floor. I tied my Snow White headband around my waist, and I'm very much giving Mulan right now. Do I look like my husband's at war? Actually, I am the husband and the man, okay? The last things I had to do on this dress were making the sash and making the sash. The first sash was a very long sash that would function well as a rope for restraining someone. Please don't use it for that. The actual purpose is to give yourself shape, and I decided to do a crisscross pattern. This might not look quite right on you if you were a little bit more top heavy, but the Lord saw it fit to give me the shape of a 10-year-old boy who hasn't hit puberty yet. The second sash was this kind of sash, but I could like cut out in hem the other sheet to make it into a more fancy thing to drape over myself, but I am like never gonna wear this outfit again, and I do want to use that fabric for something else later, so I'm just gonna keep it as it is, and that means I'm officially done. Also, if you were noticing my elbows and wondering what happened, this is what happened. The Odyssey is a special book to me. I've read it 3 times, and I liked it as a 9-year-old, hated it as a 12-year-old, and despised it as a 13-year-old. I think I'm getting less and less literate, or maybe I just realize more and more how much I don't like Odysseus. This brings me to the Christopher Nolan film and the controversy. No comment. I haven't seen it yet, and I like to form my own opinions. The trailer looked really cool, although I fear they did Robert Pattinson a bit dirty. First he does this crap.
See it.
Now this.
You're pining for a daddy you didn't even know.
This dress is great for waiting for your husband to return, and waiting for your husband to return, and waiting for your husband. Here I was pretending to eat nightlock berries and die, and when I fell dramatically to the ground, I hit my scab, so I had to end the reveal early. My elbow's bleeding again, and I don't want to stay in this. Time to get into the numbers. This dress took me less than 2 hours to sew and cost only $15. For a rating, I would give it a 7.995 out of 10 because I quite like parts of it, and I think it's relatively flattering. The points off are because I don't like parts of it and it's not flattering. I felt really hot in this dress. The polyester retains heat and I was sweating my brains out. Oh, it's filming! Maybe dressing up as Penelope will get me suitors. I wouldn't really want the ones like that. I will take a hubby who will murder all of them though. That would be fun. Anyone out there who's a murderer? If you're still here, let me know by commenting and telling me what you think about the movie or the book. Or if you've read it, or if you haven't, or if you're actually making this dress, because is anyone actually making the dresses I make in these videos? The horse is filling with water, and I am near like the butt of the horse, so I do think I'm not gonna make it. Ow!